Okay, let's dive in. Imagine this. Uh, whispers in an old castle, some hidden room, and, this dark force waking up inside a magical school. That's the mystery we're getting into today.
Yeah, and it's fascinating, right? We're looking at J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. It's not just a story people love, it's really layered. You've got this sort of whodunit mystery playing out, but also these deeper themes of like prejudice and hidden dangers in their world.
Absolutely. So we jump right into Harry's second year at Hogwarts, but the usual back-to-school buzz,
Hmm.
it's just not there this time.
No, not at all.
There's this really chilling rumor going around. Almost immediately, the Chamber of Secrets, the legendary one, has supposedly been opened again.
And fear just takes hold, doesn't it? Attacks start happening, students are getting petrified, even Filch's cat, Mrs. Norris.
Oh, yeah, Mrs. Norris.
Mm.
Finding her like that, it really makes things feel suddenly very real and pretty creepy. The whole place is just on edge.
It really sets the scene perfectly. So our mission here isn't just to, read the plot back. We want to follow the key events, look at the clues around this big mystery, and really help you get a handle on the main story and sort of the tensions underneath it all, without getting totally bogged down in every single spell and detail.
Okay, so the first clue that something's really wrong, it doesn't come from inside Hogwarts initially. It comes from, well, a house elf, Dobby.
Dobby, yeah. What's so interesting about him showing up is just how desperate he is right from the start.
Totally.
He's doing all these crazy things to try and stop Harry going back to school, but he's so cryptic about why.
Exactly. So you're immediately asking, okay, why is this little guy so terrified for Harry? What does he know?
What does he know about the chamber?
He turns up at the Dursleys, causes absolute chaos, the whole floating pudding thing.
Oh, the pudding incident. Classic.
A pretty obvious warning, maybe not subtle, but obvious. And he's making these pronouncements, danger at Hogwarts, the chamber's been opened again.
And Harry's reaction is, well, it's understandable skepticism, isn't it?
Completely.
This strange creature just appears, making these wild claims. It kind of makes you think, how do you react when someone gives you a warning like that, especially when you've got no idea who they are or why they're telling you this?
Do you just brush it off? Or is there something real there?
Mm.
Of course, Dobby's idea of helping just makes things worse for Harry with the Dursleys.
Yeah, backfires spectacularly.
Which leads to that brilliant Weasley rescue mission.
Yeah.
Ron, Fred, George, and the flying Fort Anglia.
Ah, the flying car. Such a great moment. It's this mix, isn't it? First, this amazing sense of freedom, Harry escaping the Dursleys, flying through the night sky, pure adventure.
Total freedom. But then, reality bites. Or maybe the Whomping Willow bites.
Literally, their arrival at Hogwarts is less than smooth.
Crashing into the tree and then immediately getting caught by Snape. Yeah. Not quite the grand entrance.
No. And connecting that back, this whole joyride, even though it came from a good place helping Harry, it has real fallout. The Evening Prophet splashes it everywhere. Flying Fort Anglia mystifies muggles. Mr. Weasley's job is on the line. Harry and Ron nearly get kicked out.
It shows how quickly things can spiral, right? Even good intentions.
Exactly. Consequences.
Dumbledore, of course, he gets it, but he still gives them a serious talking to.
Mm-hmm.
McGonagall, though. Surprisingly, she goes a bit easy on them. Detention, not points deduction.
Unlucky break, really.
Especially with everything else about to kick off. And speaking of new arrivals, Gilderoy Lockhart.
Oh, boy!
Lockhart, wow. Okay, so he's the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, and he arrives with this huge cloud of, well, celebrity status.
Total celebrity, all based on his books, Magical Me and the rest, supposedly full of his heroic deeds.
Supposedly being the key word there.
Right. His first moments with Harry are just peak Lockhart. That photo op at Flourish and Blots,
That's
all
it.
about him.
Pure self-promotion.
And then his first lesson, the Cornish Pixies.
Oh, the Pixies. Absolute chaos. They're wrecking on the classroom, and Lockhart, he's completely useless, can't control them at all. It's actually funny, but also kind of alarming. This is the guy meant to teach them defense.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? The contrast. You've got this carefully built image, this famous wizard persona, and then the reality is he's got no actual skill.
None.
And as things get more dangerous at Hogwarts, his total incompetence becomes really, really obvious. It's almost like a commentary on fame and how easy it is to fake it.
And the danger ramps up very quickly. We get the first proper attack. Finding Mrs. Norris petrified.
Yeah.
And that message on the wall.
The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the air, beware. Shivers, right. That just sends this wave of fear and suspicion through the whole
Oh,
school.
instantly.
Suddenly, this old legend feels terrifyingly real.
Professor Binns, the ghost history teacher, he reluctantly gives them the backstory, doesn't he?
Yeah, it tells the story of Salazar Slytherin, one of the founders, building the secret chamber way back when.
And the legend says only Slytherin's true heir can open it. Unleash some monster and purge the school of students Slytherin didn't think were worthy, which meant Muggleborns.
And it's interesting because Binns himself calls it errant nonsense.
Right, he brushes it off.
But the story exists, and now things are happening that match it. It creates this real anxiety, makes you think about how old stories, even myths, can still have power, shape how we see things now.
Definitely fuels the fear. And then, unfortunately, the suspicion starts to point somewhere really specific. It lands right on Harry.
Yeah, that dueling club scene is just
Yeah.
crucial. Harry speaks Parseltongue snake language without even realizing it.
He's trying to stop the snake Malfoy conjured from attacking Justin Finch-Fletchley.
Exactly, but because hardly anyone can speak Parseltongue, and it's historically linked to dark wizards.
Like Slytherin himself, Serpentongue.
Precisely. So people like Ernie Macmillan, the Hufflepuffs, they immediately jump to the conclusion, Harry must be the heir of Slytherin.
It's classic fear and misunderstanding, isn't it? Twisting something innocent, or at least not malicious, into proof of guilt, based on old biases.
And then, tragically, Colin Creevey gets petrified, and Justin Finch-Fletchley, too.
Right after arguing with Harry, in Justin's case.
Which, in the eyes of many scared students, just looks like more evidence against Harry. It's a stark reminder of how easily people draw conclusions when they're afraid, even with flimsy proof. It happens outside the wizarding world, too, obviously.
For sure. But Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they don't buy it. They know Harry isn't the heir. So they decide they need to find out who is.
Enter Hermione's brilliant, if slightly crazy plan, the Polyjuice Potion.
The ultimate undercover mission.
It's incredibly complex stuff, Polyjuice Potion. Allows you to turn into someone else for a while. Their idea. Turn into Crabbe and Goyle, Slytherin students, and just ask Draco Malfoy point blank if he's the heir.
Simple, right? Except getting the ingredients. That's a whole other story.
Oh, yeah. Sneaking around Snape. Who knows everything about potions like this?
Most Potente Potions, isn't that the book?
That's the one. And then they need actual bits of Crabbe and Goyle hair, I think.
Which they managed to get during the Christmas feast chaos. Very sneaky.
The whole brewing process happens in Moaning Myrtle's bathroom, which is just atmospheric, let's say.
Gloomy is the word.
And it doesn't go perfectly, does it? Hermione ends up with cat hair instead of Millicent Bulstrode's.
Yeah, poor Hermione. Ends up furry for a while.
Yeah.
But it works for Harry and Ron. They become Crabbe and Goyle. Must have been weird.
Definitely unsettling. But it gets them where they need to be. The Slytherin common room.
So Harry is Goyle and Ron is Crabbe. They start questioning Malfoy. What do they actually learn? Does he spill the beans?
Well, what's really revealing is how Malfoy reacts. He scoffs at the idea he's the heir.
Okay, so not him.
No. But he basically says his father, Lucius, told him to keep his head down, but, let the heir get on with it, clearing out the mudblood filth, as he disgustingly puts it.
Ugh, so it exposes the Malfoy's prejudice deep down.
Absolutely. It shows that bigotry is really fueling the whole situation, even if Malfoy isn't the one opening the chamber himself.
He also mentioned some secret chamber in Malfoy Manor, which is kind of a red herring for this mystery.
It is, yeah, but it underlines the family's connection to dark stuff, hidden secrets. So Malfoy isn't the heir, but talking to him doesn't really solve anything. The mystery just gets thicker.
And then another piece falls into place, or rather is found. This diary, T.M. Riddle's diary.
Ah, the diary. Starts off seemingly innocent, just an old blank diary Ginny Weasley found somewhere.
But then Harry gets hold of it, and it's different. It writes back to him.
Yeah, super creepy. And not just writing back, it starts showing him things, memories from 50 years ago.
Right. And the big one is seeing this young guy, Tom Riddle, accusing young Hagrid, of opening the chamber back then.
And releasing a monster that killed a student who turns out to be Moaning Myrtle.
Which explains why Hagrid was expelled. It throws suspicion back onto Hagrid, makes you wonder about his past.
It really complicates the history, doesn't it? How past accusations linger.
But the more Harry interacts with the diary, the more he sees of Riddle.
Yeah.
Something doesn't feel right, does it? He starts to wonder about Riddle himself.
Yeah, a seed of doubt. Could Riddle be more involved than just being a witness from the past? The timeline, his behavior, and the memories, it starts to seem suspicious.
And then Hermione, even though she's petrified, She gives them the final clue.
That crumpled piece of paper clutched in her hand. Genius, Hermione. About pipes.
Pipes. And Harry and Ron put it together with the voice Harry's been hearing.
The voice moving through the walls.
It clicks. The monster must be moving through the school's plumbing. And what kind of monster fits that and kills with a look?
A basilisk. A giant snake. Hermione figured it out.
And if it kills with its gaze, that explains the petrified victims. They didn't look directly at it, maybe saw a reflection.
Exactly. And Moaning Myrtle. She died in a bathroom. Where else would you find lots of pipes leading somewhere hidden?
It all points to the entrance being in Myrtle's bathroom. So they need backup, right? They go to Lockhart.
Oh, Lockhart. Their attempt to get help from the supposed expert just completely blows up in their faces.
Hilariously exposes him as a total fraud once and for all. He was about to do a runner.
He was. So they basically have to drag him along, force him to come with them to Myrtle's bathroom. They think the entrance is linked to one of the taps, one with a snake engraved on it.
And Harry speaks Parseltongue again, this time deliberately to open it.
Which confirms his ability, but now in a useful way. The entrance opens.
Yeah. And then Harry has to go down. Alone, leaving Ron with Lockhart, who's useless, probably fainting.
Terrifying decision, descending into the unknown like that, and what he finds down there, it's worse than they imagined.
The chamber itself is huge, creepy, statues of snakes everywhere.
Yeah, deeply ominous. And he finds Ginny Weasley unconscious on the floor.
And then he appears, Tom Riddle. But not just a memory this time.
No, he's solid, almost real, and he reveals everything. He is Lord Voldemort, or rather, his younger self, preserved in the diary.
Mind blown. And he admits he used Ginny, manipulated her through the diary to reopen the chamber and set the basilisk loose.
Chilling, pure manipulation.
And then the basilisk itself arrives. Massive, terrifying.
A truly desperate fight. But then help arrives in the most unexpected way. Fawkes, Dumbledore's phoenix.
Brilliant moment. Fawkes flies in, brings the sorting hat, and crucially blinds the basilisk with his claws.
Takes away its deadliest weapon, the killing gaze, and the sorting hat. It doesn't just sit there, does it?
No, it produces the sword of Gryffindor, right when Harry needs it most. Pure Gryffindor bravery being rewarded.
An incredible moment. Harry, using the sword, manages to actually kill the basilisk. It's an epic struggle.
But Riddle, Voldemort's memory, he's still there, gloating almost.
Until Harry figures it out, the diary. He takes a basilisk fang broken off during the fight and stabs the diary with it.
Venom destroys it, and Riddle devolves. Gone. Defeated.
Incredible climax, bravery, quick thinking, and using the monster's own weapon against its creator, essentially.
So the aftermath. It's a whirlwind, right?
Yeah.
Harry gets Ginny out. Ron manages to cause a cave-in that traps Lockhart after Lockhart tried to wipe their memories.
Yeah, Lockhart gets a taste of his own medicine. His memory charm backfires. Poetic justice, maybe?
Maybe. They all make it back up. Dumbledore arrives. McGonagall, Mr. and Mrs. Weasley. Relief. Confusion.
And then Dobby turns up again with a final, crucial piece of information.
He reveals who put the diary in Ginny's cauldron in the first place, back at Flourish and Blots.
Lucius Malfoy. It was deliberate. Malfoy planted it on her knowing what it was, or at least what it could do. Pure malice.
Which leads to another brilliant Harry moment. He tricks Lucius into freeing Dobby, using his own sock.
Yes. A fantastic bit of quick thinking, using Malfoy's arrogance against him. A huge win for Dobby.
So the school year ends on a much higher note. The end-of-year feast. Exams are canceled.
Much to Hermione's horror, initially.
Lockhart's gone. Hopefully to St. Mungo's to recover his memory, maybe. Hagrid returns, cleared of all suspicion. Gryffindor wins the House Cup. Again. And things sort of get back to normal.
A fragile normal, maybe, but normal.
So looking back on this whole deep dive, what really stands out?
Well, I think Chamber of Secrets really hammers home the danger of prejudice, doesn't it? How quickly people judge Harry based on Parseltongue, the whole mudblood prejudice that fuels Riddle and Malfoy.
Yeah, that's huge. And the manipulation aspect, too. How Riddle used Ginny through that seemingly harmless diary. It's insidious.
Definitely. But you also see the flip side, right? Harry choosing to act, choosing bravery, even when he's terrified.
Absolutely. And the power of friendship.
Yeah.
Harry, Ron, Hermione, they stick together, they trust each other, even when things look bad. That's what gets them through.
And the mystery itself is just so well crafted. Lots of twists, red herrings. Keeps you guessing.
So for you listening, maybe the thing to take away is Think about how those themes, prejudice and manipulation, might show up in less obvious ways, in the real world.
Yeah, like how subtle biases can work, or how even seemingly innocent things, maybe not a magic diary, but, information or influence can have hidden agendas.
Makes you think about being critical, trusting your gut when something feels off.
Exactly. Cultivating that critical thinking, questioning things. It's important.
Definitely food for thought. Maybe it's time for a reread of Chamber of Secrets. See what clues jump out now.
Always a good idea. And chat about it. Share your own theories. Until next time, keep thinking, keep exploring.